So we're gonna probably just do the matches at normal speed. And then comment on obvious things and then go back the second time.
Can you, with SideTube, can you like go back to the start and pause, because it's kind of been non-stop going for me, but it's on and off.
Yeah.
Okay, I fixed it.
Yeah, I have to actually just interact with it, or otherwise it'll just keep going for everybody else. Alright, so you're good?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You know more about Atlas than me. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is a shuffle match, and you're with a 1.5k partner against a normal 3k, 2k comp.
I don't know how I should have the volume.
Obviously, in this kind of matchup, like, you're both kind of double front on the first life, and you kind of want to die first, so you're moving straight up to Rex, so that's okay. I would say that's a little bit of an overposition, but, like, yeah, you did, that was
You did a high correction move up close.
Yeah.
When you got close, so. More circling.
More pushing. Your partner's dying really fast, so
it's fine.
Depending on, but yeah.
No, they circled. They were just circling around him. They took a nice landing. We were able to get a punish because of it. Good, Kshatriya was ignoring you, and you peppered him with the machine gun and the vector.
Okay, this game's pretty scrambly, but like your partner hasn't managed to not die too fast, and so this actually is going okay. You're gonna burst here? Okay, you chose not to burst, that's okay.
I think with double low cost, you really want to be adhering to the half burst strat. Just burst as soon as possible. 1.5Ks are a little sketchy because you end up bursting so low HP. But everybody else kind of just wants to use it when they get it.
Okay, so yeah, well, I agree with that, but I also think you should remember that because the 1.5k can die in extra time, it is possible to get a full burst into a half burst as long as you actually properly full burst, like as in you do a... So, like, if I was to go over anything in that particular replay, it would basically just be like burst, like you didn't, like you either should have half bursted or you should have bursted when you came back, or made an aggressive play with your burst, and then tried not to get hit in burst whilst pressuring with it. Yeah. And that way you would have gotten that way, if the game had gone on longer or it had been required, you should have been able to get like another half burst after that. And it's going to be kind of repeating a lot, but I think an awful lot of what we're going to be talking about is going to be bursts.
Yeah, one thing that helped me with my brainworms about burst is that when I watched the Nagata video, he just had like an entire section dedicated to how bad Yukemi bursting is. Like, you do it to make the game not end at the last life. Like, that's what it's for, and then every other situation, it's suboptimal. So, like, if your burst is almost full, it's just almost as useful as a full burst.
You get less boost back, but it doesn't, like, last less time, basically.
Yeah, but...
like, that's the difference.
Yeah. And S-Burst is kind of a burst that you activate before going in anyway half the time, so, like... Because it gives very little boost back, so you can't really use it to keep pushing. You kind of have to play your hand that you're looking to go on people when you activate it. Or just get that little extra boost. Yes, I should. Can you pull that up, Irysa?
Pull what?
The Nagata burst vid up.
Sure. It's in resources, but sure. 1 second.
Yeah, but I have like 20 windows open.
I know.
I had to bring out my drawing tablet just to have another monitor.
Are we going to go back over that last one, or are we going to watch another?
Is there anything you want to go over? It was a pretty fast game.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty fast game. Fast games are often a little bit awkward to go. I think you generally did the right thing, but it's hard to commentate on the specifics.
Oh, I got a couple things. Hang on. I remember one thing. Circling around. Where was it? Okay, yeah. You, like, go on Kshatriya and then completely ignore them, and then they just shoot you in the back. And this is kind of like... when you pick a target and you get that close to them, like, you kind of want to stick to it. I know you were afraid of your partner getting hit, but you kind of just exposed your back to him. Like, the more I play this game, the more I end up sticking to, like, the same target I was just on and just watching my radar for the target that's worrying me. Because I just find it's hard to disengage a lot of the time. Because good players will just get right in my vector if I ignore them. Yeah, that was fine. There's something else I feel. The only thing, actually I think the only other thing was at the start. You just drifted too close to Rex, but you also planted a CSA in his face, which makes use of the proximity. So it's not really that bad.
Yeah, generally speaking,
because I still drift really close to people on accident all the time.
Yeah,
so it's not like
generally speaking, I think it's better to like be pointing out things that are more relevant overall to like thought processes than like, oh well, in this match you should have done X, Y, Z. That's all.
Yeah, well, I brought that one example up because it's sticking to a target, basically. A lot of people get stuck trying to, like, they'll stand between two targets just like that, and they won't decide what target they want. And you either need to, like, hard commit onto the Rex, get the partner free, or commit onto the Kshatriya and make sure they're not going to hit you. And trust your partner. Like, I think it was better to double lock Rex there, but like you kind of wanted to start running towards Kshatriya and then had to double back, so you're like, oh wait, Guneasy can't solo a Rex. Yeah, well, they got a KD on the Rex. They got a KD on the Rex, and then Guneasy was just close to Rex when Rex teched. Anyway, let's start the next one.
This is a more normal team comp.
More normal team comp.
Okay, so since you're against a Karadim, it's kind of your job to put on Karadim, so like you're keeping an eye on Karadim already, so that's good. DC and CSA is good. That boost dash forward was very bad. That's put you in red lock for things. So like try to like maybe think about like boost dashing, like retreating when you get confirmed like that, especially that kind of situation. Okay, so you're pushing in on Karadim. Shield bits up, so you're not going to push too hard. Okay, you're pushing in probably a little bit too hard on Karadim with shield bits there for sure.
Yeah. You kind of waited for shield bits to come up and then started going in.
Okay, armor dash was good. Then, okay, I think at this point you probably decided you were fronting. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I don't know if your partner's on board with that because it seems like he's already purged and stuff. Yeah, this is just misinputs, so this is just kind of okay. I'm gonna have something to say after the end of the match about some of the sub usage, but like I can't talk about it right now. But I think you're already getting some things to talk about too for this sort of thing. Okay, so you're focusing on changing target again. Oh, yeah. Now, granted, I'm not like familiar with like your partner or like how confident you are in your partner or anything in all of these games, but feels like you don't trust your doesn't feel like you're trusting your partner very much in a lot of these situations because you're not just willing to peace out, basically. That's one. Okay, so we're bursting on Karadim. Are we gonna get anything done with it though?
Probably would have held it to prevent the loss at this point.
Yep.
Because your HP is pretty uneven. I'm glad you actually activated it though, instead of waiting and just panic bursting at the end of one of your sequences. That's much better.
Okay, Lone Mortal's probably gonna kill you here if they do this correctly. Okay, you got sniped.
Nah, I got sniped.
Okay, so can we go back over that one?
I would say the manually activate is better than just like panic bursting.
Yeah.
Towards the end of your last life, because you kind of want to use it right after you get the half, and then after that, like, it gets really sketchy.
Okay, so well, that depends on HP values as well. To be fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Someone on the pause. We'll go back to
okay,
it.
So Okay, so the first, can you pause, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say was that, like, in terms of sub use, I've basically not seen a single use of sub.
I need to catch up on chat.
Sorry, I've not seen a single use of sub into.
Oh, thanks
jump.
for the raid, Makoto. Why does this alert not go off?
I've not seen a single use of sub into jump so far from you, and that's kind of a problem because that's definitely useful on Atlas. And like, obviously, this is like I don't know if you know about this cancel route or not, but if you press the C button instead of pressing the shoot button again with sub, then Atlas does a backflip, and like that can help you when you're in a little bit close and you're like, let's say you moved in to pressure a bit, and then you did sub to circle around to do evasive movement whilst attacking with a more high correcting shot. Like, obviously the 2 shots are nice, but if you do the backflip, you can fire a shot whilst you're backflipping, and I don't remember if it cuts tracking or not.
It cuts tracking, that's the best part about it.
Yeah, the backflip cuts tracking. If you hold down during it, then you actually land relatively smoothly out of it. It's like Strike Freedom's down B. So you need to think about, I think you need to be a bit more conscious about not just going, chase the landing, chase it, like shoot all the buttons until they get hit. Because you need to be like a little bit more confident in just pressuring the opponent passively and being safe, basically. Like in this matchup, it felt like you were like, oh, I need to do things to carry him, and you were like way too focused on trying to attack carry him constantly and not enough on like pressuring safely, because that's actually what you want to do, is you want to pressure safely, because Atlas doesn't really have the tools to just like completely dunk on Carradine.
One good thing to do on offense with when you are being offensive, because like Atlas kind of has to be reactive. He can't really force himself onto people that well. So like you'll take an aggressive landing, then do sub, then like do backflip and just kind of chill and see what they do. And like if they try to make a bad approach on you, you have like your entire boost bar left to play that whole situation out. Like I will actually try to like land and like just step sub, then backflip.
Yeah,
that's only when I played the Suit and Gundam versus though.
Yeah, you just generally, yeah, you're taking landings before you try to do something with your sub or your CSA and such is also a good idea, because like Carradine obviously, you know, he can snipe your landings and that's scary and all, but it's better to go ahead. Sorry.
Talking of Carradine, we need to talk about something right away for just Carradine in general that I noticed at the start. So like boost hopping around like this against Carradine, right? Like you really need to like hug the ground, and right before you, if you do gain height, you need to be in the habit of like faking landings versus better Carradines. We'll just do like, so if you gain height like this, you kind of just float to the ground. That's an easy snipe. But if you do like one more boost dash before the ground, he has to burn like either 2 shots to hit you because he needs to cover both timings, or you just get away with your landing. And that puts a lot of stress on Carradine's ammo, even if he does end up sniping you, which means he can't snipe as often, which just slowly helps reduce the amount of pressure that Suit puts on you at range. And that's for any Suit versus Carradine. And something that took a long time for me to get used to.
Also, I guess another cancel route option I'm not seeing you use much is the
yeah, that okay.
Sorry, are you playing right now?
No.
Or is it frozen?
I'm just responding to the chat. You said there's a moment where I did exactly that with main into sub, beating his punish, and like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But it's worth pointing out just as a versus Carradine thing in general, because I am going to try and point out things that are for the general audience as well. So don't think of every criticism as just, oh, this is something you're doing wrong, and more like, this is what you're supposed to do against this Suit, to the whole audience. Anyway, do you have anything in this match that you want me to go to?
Well, I wanted to point out a couple of opportunities of where the backflip would have been good, or where main into 6BC would have been good, basically.
Alright, so should we just let it play out?
Yeah, just let it play out and pause when I say.
Yeah, you're kind of tepid going on Carradine at the start too. Like you kind of want to shake Reborns away, get sniped, and then you're like, oh, I should probably go deal with Carradine. And by then, he's already got shield bits up. In which case you have to be very tepid on your approach. But you didn't want to land because you were like, oh no, I'm gonna overheat soon or land red.
Yeah, like, see, like, pause, please, pause. Like, go back a bit and pause. Like, just go back a bit and like...
Nope, a little too far back.
Yeah, it's okay. So, like, this was obviously kind of greedy, but, like, I'm not going to comment on that too much. But, like, this here, like, you missed the CSA, and then you missed the sub, and then you still keep trying to fly into Caradom and shoot. Like, this is getting, like, very, very overly, like, pushy about stuff. You need to kind of, like, think about, like, did my, you know, my call-out moves, like, actually land? And then, like, if they don't land, stop trying to get stuff. Like, stop trying to keep...
Like, after the sub, if you did the backflip, like, right here, you had, like...
Exactly.
You were at, like, this much boost. So, like, a little bit below half.
Well...
And you kind of just get the float there and see what the Caradom does.
Well,
and you still have boost to take a landing.
I would have, like... No, I would say it's the earlier sub you should have done it from. Like, so, like, if you can go back a bit, like, I'll call it the exact... It's like, not this one, but, like... Like here, you miss the CSA, then you do the sub. Right, you should have backflipped there, basically.
That's what I said.
You should have just backflipped. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, that sub.
Yeah, because then, as you drift to the ground with the guidance cut, you can do, like, one last boost dash right before you hit the ground so you don't get sniped. And it's a hard snipe.
Yeah, and you just created distance as well. And although Caradom has a snipe, you know, it's not like all of his other tools can't also be used to hit you and stuff when you're close. Yeah, so just keep playing it out now. Okay.
That was a nice CSA attempt earlier, and then you got the landing punish. That was clumsy, but that's kind of just a, oh, I didn't expect that to hit kind of situation.
Yeah, that was okay. This is also super greedy. Like, you should have just landed basically, or should have through like on that instance where you did 2 subs. Like, there's no reason to be like pushing to try to hit somebody who's not playing like a melee suit that's like going ham on top of you when you're trying to take a landing. Like,
the device I have now is like, if I want to do something, I need to land to do it. Like, instead of like move to where I want to be and start shooting, I need to land where I want to be, shoot, and then move.
Like, if you were scared of getting sniped by Caradom, you can like sort of like gently tap your jump button to like delay your landing a little bit. Like, that, we call that a fua. It's not actually, you don't step or anything, but just because Caradom's snipe, like, it doesn't have curve or anything, just you kind of like wiggling in the air a little bit really screws it up. And if you don't actually land, then his snipe isn't really going to hit at that kind of angle. So you can just be delaying. Or in that situation, because you're Atlas, you could have done sub, backflip, main, sub, backflip, right? And then you could have just, because like that's the kind of thing you need to think about in terms of overheat play with Atlas to retreat, is using the subs for those kinds of situations where you're like, oh, I actually just don't want to be here, like, and I don't have enough boost, and I want to be able to shoot somebody whilst I'm retreating. Like, instead of going, just do regular sub twice, and then do and then just have to land an overheat when they dodge both of them. So yeah, just like, that's another example of backflip.
Yeah.
Think about.
There's one point where you run into Gaga soon, but that's
so you're also like chasing, like you were chasing like a bursted Reborns there, and I wasn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like Reborns was kind of leaving, and he was in burst, so you can kind of chill and just go, all right, I'm gonna like pepper your Caradom until you come back.
It would have also been an okay time to use the side sub, or the sub jump, but yeah.
Well, they did the sub to avoid the side, but yeah.
Yeah, and then really that CSA could have gone into a sub, into a flip. It's like, Atlas has so many overheat like things to like fake his landing out and stuff, so like, yeah, that's stuff you need to probably think about. Yeah, at this point, like, the match is kind of over, I would say, like, because all it takes is like the Reborns to burst, and he should just kill you because you have nothing. But obviously, this is like not a high level game, so like people make a lot more mistakes. So you should be very. I would generally recommend being conservative about your last burst. If you're like the back on your second life, Like that is kind of the I need to use this to not die, or I need you should be willing to hold it as long as you have to. Basically, it should be the last burst in the game. Basically, ideally.
Ideally, but sometimes you'll see your partner get, like, if he's below 300 HP, sometimes you just have to do it because he might. Especially like in a melee suit, you need to just use it to use it. Alright, that's another Reborns one. Let's see what the rest of these are up against. Sorry, I just had to check if they weren't all against Reborns.
Okay.
Kind of had the hill following you there. So that was covering you there. So
yeah. The other good thing about the backflip is that it means you don't have to boost cancel the sub to throw the sub out as an option. Like, you're getting the sub into another shot and such without having to commit a boost dash. Because the flip doesn't cost anything. Oof. So boost. Okay.
Yeah, fighting Atlas and Shuffle, I just noticed, like, the more frustrated I got, the more I ended up running into his shots. Kind of... Like, that could have been your play. You knew Reborn's a bit better. Because you're just kind of at a range where you can just see what Reborn's does. You have a lot of time to react. And then you can just, like, go, okay, he's flying at me main sub. And you'll get better at that as time goes on.
I'm not sure if you know it either, but you can also do the flip out of the dash as well. The machine gun bullets, you can do the backflip out of that by pressing jump. And I'm actually seeing you always boost dash cancel it, so I'm not sure you're aware of that cancel route. So you should probably be thinking about that, because if none of your machine gun bullets hit, you should probably be either 6BCing if you're wanting to still go in, or you jump to retreat if nothing hit, basically.
I'm still happy I'm not seeing panic bursts though. Like, oh no, my shot didn't hit, I gotta go. Like, that's a huge mistake a lot of new players do, and I'm glad I don't have to comment on that.
Well, that was a lot of misinputs, but you didn't get hit and you bursted, so that's fine. As long as you don't get hit here, it's okay.
Yeah, that burst was fine. It was a little premature for you to be in that deep, because your partner still has a lot of life left, so there's HP regulation problems, but ooh, you should have just accepted the landing, you were safe. There's a good backflip use.
Yeah, that was a backflip. That was
yeah, and that did 180, damn. Yeah.
Okay, so your partner won it.
Alright, and then your partner ended up winning it. Yeah, like, being that close to begin with was kind of bad, but that burst was good. Like, you held on to it, you had it to escape, you kited him around, you got a nice machine gun into backflip when Keradim tried to chase you. Alright. Spent about 30 minutes on them.
Okay, so Excelia, similar dynamic to Keradim, but obviously it's much harder to actually push in on. Her self-defense is better.
You didn't need to do that AC if you just landed and then do it.
Yeah.
As a poke, you would have been fine. Good confirm. Ooh, that would have been a good chance to block, but those are hard habits to build. Yeah, you kind of overheated, so that was a good overplay. Fine to struggle when you're already got.
I mean, I know this is just preference, but personally I would say E-Burst is better on Atlas, but yeah.
If you're playing Shuffle and stuff too, I'd say S-Burst is fine.
Yeah, if you're playing Shuffle, S-Burst is fine, but I would generally recommend if it's a serious team comp to play Extend Burst with it.
I think he's evasive enough that... Ooh. The Vector Snipe.
Yeah, just rising doesn't do enough, unfortunately. Okay, that was a good 6 BC to get it out of the way. And now Excelia doesn't really have good enough melee to do this. Okay, I would have just, like, in that situation, like, when you're, like,
Oh, there's the flip again. Nice.
Oh dear. Okay, in that situation, would have just tried to do like a much quicker combo, like using the sub to get the down or whatever. Gonna burst. Okay, you made the right choice, but you burst a little late, but you got away with it, so that's okay.
Yep.
Oh, shield bits. Okay, and your burst didn't really get anything done. And you meleeed a shield bit. Like please don't do that. Like, I know you got away with it, but please do not melee people with shield bits.
Yeah, they don't last that long.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You picked up on the Excelia. Okay, these are all team free. Okay. I don't remember anything specific that I didn't call out as it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Like, I think generally speaking, it's you're too eager to push in on stuff, and you don't land it. It's like the same things we said before, really.
Your hit confirms that game were better than versus the Reborns. Like, you were finishing all your downs when you got them. Whereas versus the Reborns, a lot of times you get like 1 or 2 hits and just not get the knockdown. And that's just something I have to bring up because not finishing your lunch is really bad. And it's something that's like, you kind of can't do better at it until you're just used to knowing when your shots hit, which requires playtime. So you can just go, I know this shot will hit, let me follow through on it.
A lot of Atlas shots have extended staggers, so they're easier to hit confirm than average, though. So, yeah.
I think we'll do one more and then just go on to coconuts.
Sure.
Unless you can say that this last replay is fantastic, or have something specific you want from it.
Ugh. I mean, I think I'd like to point things.
I think we can do the last one, because I just remembered I started stream 10 minutes early. We can give them like 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah, like this situation, trying to OK a 7 sword, like when you're the back player, like just back out, There's no reason for you to like risk taking damage or whatever against like the higher cost suit who can like do much more damage to you. Like you're just basically too eager to get damage. You're playing like you're in shuffle with like a low cost partner right now, and like the first game that was fine. But like you're with a 3K, you really like dying is bad. Like now you like die in one combo and you're like, well shit, I have to burst or something. Like it's you should not be trying to damage race when you're playing a 3K 2.5K combo, especially against.
I'm gonna pause it right now.
Suit.
This is a very good example of like land before you do the action you want. Like nothing's that urgent. Where is it? Yeah, here's this burst. You die, and you're like, all right, I need to move where I want to go. Now start doing all the things. You need to land, then do the things you want. And have a full boost bar to follow up behind it. And you could have bursted, which would have made it better, but... yeah. A lot of things in this game are not as urgent as they feel. You actually do have time to just take a landing. Yeah, and then 7 Sword got greedy.
Yeah, like basically it's the same for the most part. It's like you're just pushing, you're too eager to actually do stuff, and you're not willing to just like kind of like more slowly pressure. Because Atlas, for example, can spam enough to like lock, to like push Buster away and make sure Buster doesn't get to really do a whole lot, and you know, and then you can help pick up when Buster gets pushed out. Good CSA.
Mm-hmm. Well, like that's a good approach and retreat because you had half your boost left if the 7 Sword continued chasing your sub.
Can you pause a second?
All right.
Or go back a bit? Like go back a bit, like back a little bit further.
Okay, that was just after the CSA, so this should be.
Yeah, just okay. So I'm just gonna point out that like twice this has happened now, like in a row. You do side sub into a direction and then you just boost dash immediately the same direction backwards. Generally speaking, that's a very, very bad idea. Like
yeah, because you can go back into shots that were aimed at you.
Yeah, you should be thinking about like committing to the direction you're going, or like be boosting like diagonally backwards or something.
Or do
like,
the backflip so things are way underneath you and you have a lot more time to carry movement. Aw, Denim Assist got you. It was a decent CSA attempt, but Buster's correction's better than yours.
Yeah, then like mailing Buster when he was in S-bars instead of just trying to play evasively as well. Also contentious. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now you're like having to front, so you have to move up. So this is okay. I would burst now if I were you. You got hit. Oh well, now you full bursted. See, now we can criticize that. You're front and you flip bursted, and S burst, which is like the worst burst to flip in as well. Like you can afford to flip if you're like F burst to a degree, because you actually don't get penalized that hard for it compared to the other bursts.
Yeah.
But if you're S burst, you never actually want to do like a flip burst ever.
Where is it? Let me just see. Oh my god, the YouTube peak bars, bro. All right. Look at how much burst that takes.
Yeah. You just lost like almost half your burst.
You basically just traded, yeah. And you had the HP to spare, so you didn't even really need Yukemi. And I will just take hits sometimes with full burst now, lay on the ground, get up, and then just manually activate it just to have the extra time. Alright, let's go to the next game.
I'm also not totally sure if you're always using directional influence in your boost hops. I get the feeling it looks like you're not doing that a lot. So try to make sure you remember to hold after you boost hop, to hold the direction that you're traveling in to get a little bit more speed and distance travel during them.
Yep.
Okay, CSA. Yeah, because these boost hops are looking a little bit weaker than average, so
might just be Atlas too.
Yeah.
If you hold a direction, you're boost hopping, you fly further.
Yeah. Like, I'll go over it after this match. Yeah, these situations are getting like very like up close and personal, and like GPO1 is now fronting for some reason. And you're taking a lot of damage from Norn, is just kind of getting to like pick at you for free because you're double locking the low cost suit. Yeah, like whenever you're getting like, whenever you start going, like, are you at 300 HP? You're try to like reconsider like your positioning, like your timing and everything, especially if your partner's already died, or your partner's probably going to die first.
Yeah, this whole game.
I know this is
letting people get into your vectors, basically.
Yeah, like because if you know your partner's looking at
oh my god,
GPO1, you can tell because you see this little icon that means that you're double locking them. You know your partner's looking at them. You kind of just have to like not. You should, in those kinds of situations, you should have been like just like, okay, let me look at the other guy instead, so that. Yeah. Now you didn't get another burst, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah, like just basic. I'll just review like the basic things that we said just as a reminder. One, when you're in close and you're using sub and stuff, like think about using the flip instead of always doing the two shots, because the sub shots stun for like an extended period of time. So if you do C into like down main after you do one shot of the sub, it will probably combo anyway. And you can cancel that main into everything else too. So like if you need to move again or throw another sub or something, or to get even more distance.
I'm adding Coco's replays right now.
Yeah. So keep that in mind for when you're close, and you should, because you don't really want to be like point blank as Atlas for the most part. And when you're using your sub to like spin around and safely shoot at people, that's fine. But like you don't really want to be like hanging out there because you have no fast fall. You have no way to actually take like a safer landing.
Yeah, you kind of just bully at this mid range and just have a non-stop onslaught of shots because your shot velocity is slightly higher than normal.
Yeah, the thing is that like you do actually want to be somewhat in before you use all your tools and your sub and your flips, because if you use your subs and flips at mid range, then you end up going into long range and like probably possibly getting out of position as a result, because you end up being like flipping halfway across the map and your partner's now isolated, and then they just go kill your partner or whatever. So you need to be careful about using that in mid range, but you should definitely be using them more at close range to try to get back to the range that you want to be at. And it goes the same for the jump with out of your machine gun barrage as well, because you can flip out of that and also fire the main and such. You gotta like, and because these cut tracking and they move you like upwards and backwards in such a way that you get a lot of time to react to what's going on. So yeah, like just keep that in mind. Next, be like less aggressive. Like it's okay, like especially on if your partner hasn't died yet. Like when your partner's died once, you can start looking to be more aggressive. But try to be a little bit less aggressive and a bit less like forceful. Think about E-burst. If you want to keep using S-burst, that's fine. But like think about using E-burst.
I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't know if it helps you be more patient, but your shots do travel faster on Atlas slightly. So not only do you have an easier time hit confirming them at mid range, they also just travel faster. So against most suits that don't have like powered beam rifles, you can actually win like the shot game from a longer range. And that's kind of what the suit's built around, is just kind of just this constant bullying. And if its melee was like slightly better, that suit would be... If it just had a little bit better ability to get the jump on people who start trying to ignore it, I think it would be seriously good.
If it could like fast fall out of the command dash, or the command dash was faster or something, it would be real nice, because then it could just like, whoop, I'm on top of you and I just have a full boost bar.
I think if it just had a good melee button.
Yeah, maybe.
Because most of its melee is pretty low priority or bad chase. You have to kind of like get yourself directly on top of them, or people might try to ignore you.
If you're having trouble knowing when to half burst, like basically as a 2.5k, if you get half burst and you're above like 150 HP, if you're confident that you can not get hit in your half burst, and like still get something out of it, that's kind of what you want. Like it's actually good to half burst on your first life, as of 2.5k, but you have to be confident that you don't get hit in it, unless you're an E-burst, in which case you can usually afford to get hit once in it, because you take reduced damage. Because that, as long as you half burst like above like about 150, like 170, like we're talking like 200 to 1, because you should be able to get it around 200 to 150, and if you burst before then and your partner dies, just if you, between those two, if you get it then, you manage to half burst offensively, like to follow up on your partner's burst or something, or you just use it to set something up or to escape. Not as a flip, but like just as a way to attack people or to defend yourself or to escape a situation. That's totally fine. And then you should have another half burst for your next life, and that half burst should generally be kept to like either win the game or prevent yourself from dying to lose the game. Because if also, you have half burst and they try to burst on you, can just nullify it.
Also, another thing with half burst too is like, this is specific to E-burst, which is why I like it on a lot of suits, even though it's the defensive burst in quotes. If you get hit to where like you are an inch away from getting your burst, you can actually start playing fairly aggressively, because you have the tech burst to back you up, and you will get an instant burst, and you will very reliably get your second half burst. So it's like a case where actually tech bursting is kind of worth it, because it lets you play more aggressively, and then you have that insurance as well as like a stable burst. You just need to make sure you don't get hit in the next 2 seconds it takes for your burst to end, since your burst is very short playing like that. Ideally you manually activate, but sometimes like if you're an inch away from half burst, you take a full another combo, now you're pretty deep into your boost bar or burst bar is pretty full, and now you're like, oh no, if I burst now I might not get 2, and it kind of helps mitigate that situation. Kind of want to make a burst video as well, because that's one situation not covered in Nagata's video. The general advice of just when you get it use it is usually pretty good. Because you just want to start getting in the habit of using one, then having one on your last life to prevent you from dying. Anyway, it's time for coconuts. Coconuts, are you here? Or do I have to slap them in DMs? Alright. It's time for Gaia. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Some of these are partnered with you. Shit, Pompadour was trying her route out.
It's fine. Okay, so backed off at the start. Throwing the missile assist into flip. Good.
Overplay, but you kind of
yeah.
fucked yourself and you're like, alright, let's go. These are both suits you know better than I do.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like waiting until I see a match before I commentate too much.
That was actually a cute escape. I like that. I like this. Get swept on. That's just a matchup thing to know to jump and then Harut's nearby so you don't get swept.
I don't really like her normal CSA much, so yeah, I don't tend to use it.
That was a good flip to take a landing. Wait, actually, I don't know. Waiting on the skid, I think, is usually better because you can block during it. You need good block habits.
Mm-hmm.
That was an overplay. This is an overplay. Oh my god, how did you not get punished?
I mean, needs to move up, so it's okay to make. These aren't terrible, but like probably should have half bursted earlier at this point. Now you're gonna just have.
Any of those overplays should have been backed by the half burst. And then it would have been fine.
Now you need to burst like right now,
Nope, still not bursting.
Burst? No.
This whole game. This game is quite literally you need to burst.
I'm still waiting for. Yeah, you never bursted. Okay, that's like every other impossible mistake to criticize is is irrelevant to the fact you did not burst. That's the biggest deal in the entire game right there. You didn't burst.
Right.
Like I can comment on other stuff with they're specific to Gaia. I think you're gonna want me to do that. So like go ahead and like back over and I'll actually start pointing them out and asking for pauses. But like literally everything could have been forgiven if you just bursted, basically.
Right, here's an overplay. Didn't make much sense to burst there because you got the knockdown. So like, this definitely should have been backed by a burst. You end up getting away from this landing, but that's fine. Then you have another overplay here, which you could have bursted. Then you could have bursted here instead of making overplay. Use it.
Then you die and never. Yeah, and then you never use it on your second. Yeah, but like, could you go back to the start? I'd like to like point out just a couple of guy specific things as opposed to general. Like, I'll ask for pauses. Okay, so this cancel chain is good of like the assist into the flip, but when you're using the shot to kind of like drag yourself a little bit to the ground, like I meant to ask for pause. Like actually go back, like just go back to like right before Coconuts lands from that sequence. Oh,
this doesn't capture my cursor. You can't see me waving my cursor wildly.
Like here, basically, yeah. Mm-hmm. This is fine, right? So the problem is that you need like let it play out. Go back and let it play out, and then let it pause. Like I need to like see the build up to that, basically. Like just the sequence from when he does the assist, flip, cancel, basically, and up to that. So here, that. Okay, so what he's trying to do here, and I understand what you're trying to do, and I know you screwed up, but like you have to be a little bit more careful about this, and it helps if you actually like delay your boost dash cancel a little bit longer, so you drop out of the vernier. But you really want to get. I didn't see like a single skid landing with Gaia, basically. Like you didn't actually seem to get like any of your skid landings that you wanted from doing these sequences. Because the whole point of Gaia's dog transforms is that you get to do stuff, and then you're like, I'm just taking a skid landing, and I can block at any point during it, and like I skid like a mile during it. So like, and if you can't consistently get like close to ground main into boost dash into skid, then like that's like a huge deal. You need to like grind that.
Yeah, I would say the skid landing is substantially better than a normal landing, knowing that you can block during the entire skid. Yeah, because you carry a ton of momentum, you do actually avoid quite a lot of shots with the skid landing. Anyway, are you good on this video?
No, just keep going a bit. There's little couple other ones that was kind of the next point to. So like, also with the AC usage, like I'm also seeing like that AC was actually good. Like that AC was like, oh, I'm kind of close. I pressed main and I canceled it into like the jump, moving at a weird angle. And like if they try to vernier shoot me, like the main hits them. It's like that's like you also use your rush assist with the same idea. You can just use your rush assist into the jump and stuff. But like most of the ACs, like your rock jumps I'm seeing, are being done like way too close, like, or sorry, way too far away, not close enough. Sorry, they're not being done close enough. And I know getting the distance is kind of like getting close enough to people safely is kind of awkward, but like that's kind of where the skid landings come in, is that like you kind of like push on people, and if they don't shoot you at all, then you can start taking like maybe an aggressive landing basically. But if they are shooting to you, then you kind of just like, let me like boost dash like diagonally backwards and like press main when I'm gonna land, and then boost dash to the side so I can get a skid.
I gotta mute the alert box during these. Hang on a second.
But yeah, that's about it for this game for me. I think you actually understand. I'm pretty sure you already understand this. Like, I'm just trying to like reinforce it as well, because it's also for people who like don't, other people who might not understand it as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, next.
Well, yeah. Oh, if you're scared about dying in burst, like the thing is that S burst is actually a very, very safe burst. Like, it's yeah.
Another thing too is that whole first game as well. I feel like it's very much move to where I want to go, then try to attack, and then try to land. Which is why you like ran to overboost like the majority of the time, where you really need to just get into the habit of using positioning as a discrete action, landing, and then doing all your crap, because most things aren't that urgent, and taking a landing often helps you get into vectors better, even though you're still waiting longer to actually cut the combo.
Like I said, if you're like pressuring people and they don't really shoot you, then you can like oh, and they're not looking at you, like take that aggressive landing. But like, because it's trying to think that okay, let's see. Ooh.
That was some solid missiles into Harut.
Yeah, I would generally not air tech if there's a Harut in the game, because there's probably crap flying your way anyway. So you may as well just hit the ground. But yeah.
Yeah.
This was okay. This was okay. Like, it's just the Harut kind of had the correct retreat angle, so that wasn't really you making a bad play or anything. Okay, so assist. We moved in with assist. That's good. Chasing normal landing. It's okay. Throw out. Overheat. Little, probably like reaching really hard for a lot of stuff right now. And again, we're not getting any nice skid landings, which let Gaia like make aggressive, like overuse of stuff, basically. Because like think about it this way: you're calling out your assists in dog mode is not any worse than calling it out in mobile suit mode. Like your beam rifle is more easier to use in mobile suit mode for sure, but you have a better CSA in dog mode, and your assists come out just the same. So like you're thinking about using stuff or like trying to spam at people. Like yeah, you can reposition with mobile suit mode whilst you're firing your Vernier beam rifle. You're gonna be throwing out Vernier moves anyway and spamming. Then like think about just being in dog instead, and then taking a skid landing and being not punishable.
Yeah, he actually clipped Masala, but just didn't believe to finish the hit confirm.
Okay, I'm gonna say
once again, burst.
Your
partner's dying.
Burst, by the way.
Yes,
You bursted?
the burst.
Okay, when you S burst with this, when you S burst as dog, the reason that the thing to remember is that you S burst actually as dog to get like insane reload on your AC. Like, do not spam main in S burst as dog. That's like kind of useless. You just kind of like stand still and nothing happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're wanting to do the pressure with beam rifle stuff. You go back into MS mode. You flip into MS mode.
Well, fire a shot, kick off the rock, and then just over and over.
Yeah, but your AC reloads really fast in Esper, so you can kind of just like spam it basically.
Masala's 2B is weird. It just kind of grabs you from above, so a lot of things whiff. It's hard to describe that move's priority. He's just hopping on your head. So if he steps and then hops on your head, like, your melee's not gonna track or hit him.
Getting a bit close here.
I was wondering why Coconuts had this edgy HUD, and then I saw the skull in the left-hand corner, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would generally recommend you don't use CSA in normal mode. Like, it's just not very good. It stalls you for super long, entirely stationary, and like it doesn't really retrack either. So yeah. See, that would have been an instance you could have done a skid landing. You could have like pressed main right before you land and then boost dashed, basically. Because the thing is that you actually fall a little bit during your main fire as dog. Okay, this is good.
That's my quality going to crap. Hang on a second. I don't know if this paused it for you.
It didn't pause, no.
Alright, well, I'm gonna screw with this for a second.
Whilst you're screwing with stuff, I should also probably say, I don't know if you know this either, but like, and you should probably think about like doing. Actually, do you do this in this sequence? I think you do.
Well, that was a good melee assist into a full confirm.
Okay, you can cancel like all of your melee into 8B as dog. Well, actually as anything, I think.
Right,
but either way, you can cancel all.
It auto went to a lower quality, and I need to bump it up, or else it's gonna look like garbage. Upscale to the stream.
Sorry, let me just repeat myself then. That
go.
A lot of these circumstances with your melee combos, you should be more willing to just do cancel stuff into 8B and then cancel the 8B into the shoot. Like, because that does pretty solid damage and it knocks them down really fast. And there's a lot of situations here when I'm saying, like, you probably should have just done that, because getting the full neutral melee combo out doesn't even add that much damage and takes a pretty long time. It is somewhat difficult to cut once you get once you get one slash into it, but get more used to using like 8B main. Like, did it confirm? You just 8B main instead of trying to do the full neutral melee sequence. Okay, you're in dog. We flipped out, took the opportunity. It's fine.
They had a couple half-burst opportunities that they probably should have taken because their partner's really low.
Yeah. Probably should have bursted by now, basically. Now bursted, and then unfortunately didn't actually finish the down properly, even though it bursted and died in burst. So this is probably what gives you burst anxiety. But like when you're S burst, you don't burst when you're on top of people in the same way as you would in F burst, basically. You burst to push in on people, make people start looking at you. Like
yeah, you just take a landing and then you pop S burst and they're like
yeah, you can't Oki Rex. Like, that's not even your fault. That's just Rex. Like, good luck. Your suit just can't Oki Rex. You don't have, like, really stupid tools.
Just hard committed to trying to win. Oh my god, the tail. Alright, well, now your partner's gonna go try to win it. Yeah, you didn't get a knockdown on them, and they punished you for trying to disengage. Alright, we're back to decent quality again, I think. Don't know why it Died the last one.
Okay, assist. Move in a little bit. Dog. Jump was not good there, I think. There was no reason to jump. The jump should generally be used like as after you've done like a skid landing as dog to get out of the way of stuff, or if like you're just stalling.
Yeah, that was
like,
a good step on the
really
retreat though, because then all the stuff Masala threw at you was gone as you were retreating out of the red lot.
Yeah, that would have been a good skin landing opportunity too. Masala's Garby just corrects too much to dodge there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, you should have skid there. You should have skid there as well. Like you didn't like get punished on transforming, but like you had like the perfect opportunity to do skid. Like skid landing is really good with Gaia. Basically, just try to like. I know I keep repeating myself. I'm sorry if it's like getting annoying, but I'm just trying to like highlight examples. Maybe when you look over in VOD or something for this.
Yep. Well, that's why you got to keep repeating it because. Oh my god. Tail got clipped by the tail.
Yeah, like, okay, you flipped out this time, so that's good. And you also half bursted this game, so I'm already very, very happy that you did that.
Yeah, you need to show him the tech with the meteors, though.
You can also cancel your CSA into meteors, so you can do overheat plays with the CSA and the meteors and stuff. Good. Get a knockdown. Get the knockdown! No, the tail!
Oh my god.
Okay, you have half burst now.
Yeah, see, look, that wasn't even like a perfect burst. You got hit during it as well.
Yeah, 2Ks, it's so easy to get 2 bursts. As long as you don't die in your burst, you're gonna get 2 bursts, basically. Yeah. Like that's the real, like, because in 2.5K, if you get like hit during your burst, you can just like not get a proper burst ready before you die. But as a 2K, like, just fucking burst. It's good.
Yeah, that's a really good example of like that wasn't the cleanest burst. You got hit during it, and you still got another half. I'm glad we got a good example of that, like, safer than you think.
Okay.
That was a good confirm. You had a skid landing in between.
This is good. You know Quebbly has pressure, so you're not moving in too much, I think, so I respect that. Nice. Yeah, nice. This is a... See, that's a peak opportunity. You should have just done the quick combo, like, instantly, basically. Yeah. Because, like, the thing is that the 8B is tumbling down, so, like, they can't even tech it. Like, so even if you didn't finish anything, you've taken the opponent out of the game for a while, so if the other person, like, punishes you for it, your partner should be able to punish them for it. Like, yeah. This is good. That was just unfortunate from your partner comboing with that.
Yeah, a lot of this game is you're actually following through with your hit confirms, so you're able to get the stability to keep moving around. Oh, this is kind of awkward.
I would burst just to not die.
I would.
I guess I didn't.
Yeah, I would do like hop. Can you do hop into hop with Gaia or no?
I mean, you can step into another hop.
Yeah, like I would like do the bitch oak option where it's like just do 2 hops and then burst and you're like out of it.
I would have bursted when like you saw me coming at you basically there and tried to use that to defend yourself. But...
like any suit with a hop, I just know on burst, I'm like I can just double hop and then burst and run away forever.
Okay, Lone's pretty low. I'm moving in to try to stop you from going on and now having to defend myself in Haka. You're bursting.
Excuse me, this
I
is
burst, counter burst.
Oh, okay, you still caught him.
Yeah, you did the thing again where you spam main in dog mode.
Yeah.
Just never do that. Basically, never ever do that. With you, the reason you use main in dog mode is to cancel into jump at close range and to like combo the shot to cancel stuff out, or to like try to like land, because not to land, but like to use it to set up a skid landing. Because when you throw it out, you kind of like drop a bit closer to the ground. Because you have like you lose altitude during that shot, and it helps when you're close to the ground to throw that out, so you lose more altitude, then your boost dash is more cleanly gonna end up resulting in a slide, basically. You don't really use it for normal pokes unless you're like, oh, I need to poke with something, or I need to use it as a cancel route into something. Because if you're gonna like flip out of it, sure, like go ahead and like throw it out or something. But just like pressing it normally in dog mode, like whilst boost dashing around in the air, not really good. Would avoid doing that. CSA is okay though, because that has high correction and fast travel speed.
Alright, this is the last one.
Yeah, if you boost dash one more time, you would have had the skid. You would have had it there. Like, that was perfect as well for it. And then that landing would have been safe.
Does overheat skid even have a bigger penalty?
No, it doesn't. No, it's the same no matter what, basically. This is what makes Gaia like slightly, actually quite decent, is that you can do a lot of overplay stuff, and then you just have like a pretty good landing.
Yeah, you definitely need to implement that better then. Yeah. That's true, because skid's a fixed animation, and then when the animation's over, you're stationary. So you get a full boost recovery.
Got the skid. Oh no! And then you had the skid, and then you just decided to do the jump, and then you stepped in the air and everything. Like you almost did exactly what I like asked you, hoping you would do.
It makes you feel better. I panic every time I play a ground runner and I need to skid.
That was just kind of a mess. Like you were just kind of like stuck in the corner, and turn X did part split on top of you, so you couldn't retaliate. So I wouldn't. But yeah.
I mean, doesn't Gaia boost downwards when you're in dog mode in the air?
Yes, but that doesn't necessarily make it easier to lose altitude. Like you kind of, that's why you kind of need to use the main.
Yeah, main like
you kind of just drop to the ground and then use the main to give yourself a window to buffer in the boost dash and drop closer to the ground, then do the skid.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, your partner kind of like didn't really get a lot done, and you just kind of you got hit a lot because you didn't really manage to take safe landings, or you kind of like did too many things whilst you were trying to move around. Like, yeah, I'm only gonna say this one more, I swear, but like, yeah, like just like you really go practice like getting used to doing stuff in dog mode, and then like let me like boost dash like diagonally away, and then like fire main kind of a little bit before I land, and then boost dash sideways, like with the last bit of boost you've got. Like get used to doing that. Like that's like super important to get good at doing. And then like if you have to react with a block during that skid, if they're trying to shoot your landing again, and then you can just boost dash again, and then you could block again. Like it's very good. And for the rock jump stuff, yeah, like you want to be a bit closer before you do it. Try to make sure you're canceling out of an assist or a main when you do it. In S burst, if you're wanting to like do a safe S burst, just be in MS mode and like try to jump into people's vectors and spam BR, you know. And if you're wanting to like do an aggressive S burst, then just constantly be doing ACs, because the ACs reload super fast in S burst. That's about like the main summary of things to work on, because like the landing thing is the most important for Gaia, I think. If there's anything else, then like feel free to ask.
Yep. I'll give you a second if you have anything to ask before I move on to the next person. And this should be the last for today. I'm gonna have a Photoshop document open so I can up my tangent game.
Okay. Just try again. Sorry, we're very sorry about that. I should also be monitoring to like help with that. I am sorry. I do actually have the stream open, but I have full screen. I'll try not to do that in the future.
Yeah,
okay.
So the AC use at range is good, like leading your sequences with it is good. So like as you can see, the missiles just kind of chase them really well at range. Some of this stuff is just, you really need to hold your boost hops though. Like I can already tell you're getting like these really chunky boost hops.
I think I saw you try to block that Garo, but like you did it like you weren't looking at the right target when you tried to block it. But yeah, like this situation right there should have been an S burst basically.
Yeah,
like,
that should have been an S burst. Do not use the AC to punish a landing.
Yeah.
Because AC just doesn't.
Yeah, only use AC at range.
Same
basically.
same there. You really shouldn't have done AC. You should have done your main.
Yeah, even using AC at people who are like trying to attack you, like move into you, also just doesn't work. Like just don't bother. Like you only use that in like hard neutral situations.
Yep, and it's extremely good at hard neutral.
And here's your flip burst that you should have bursted before you got hit, but you flip bursted and then you like stayed in green lock the whole time and didn't really do much. Like I don't know if you know about using S burst correctly, but generally speaking, you can kind of just like boost hop diagonally into somebody's vector and just keep pressing main repeatedly.
Yep,
and like
and
it's
then
pretty
you can
obnoxious.
use sub as like an evasive button, and then cancel the sub into main, and you have ridiculous momentum, and your landing's probably not going to be punished. People are mentioning CSB. It is good. I don't say it's urgent.
Well, I think in this situation right here is when I was saying this is kind of the situation you kind of need to think about using moves like CSB.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any high, like, you know, you need another high correction move to try to punish these landings that was JU. Like, because you were trying to kill JU to, like, end the game, but you couldn't punish any of the landings, and you need, like, the high correction, like, fast move in that circumstance to actually get a punish. That's when you should think about using CSB.
With Zaku Amazing, I think I can boil it down to just boost diagonally at people, boost hop, mash main, and if you think you're going to get hit by something, you can just hit sub and then press main again. Like, I think that would be a decent start, because that's kind of how I was just abusing people with S-Burst when I played that suit day one.
Mm-hmm. The suit actually does have pretty high melee damage too, but like, I mean, I think if you're like, if you consider yourself, I know you consider you're in the beginner tag and you play in the beginner lobbies, so it's fine not to worry too much about going in too much, because his range toolkit is pretty solid. So like, until you're like comfortable with like using it all correctly, you can think about like meleeing after that.
I like seeing like AC and like step AC before you start a shot sequence, because that's like the best time to use it. Just you don't want to use it up close for punishing. Because it either... Yep, please do. We have a queue, and it looks like we get through people somewhat fast. I might try to go on more tangents if I see something as a springboard to talk about a concept. But yeah. Anyway, I think we have one more game. Yeah. This will be the last game of the night. And we'll actually have it on stream. Alright, you ready, Irysa?
I'm still watching.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that AC was also in green lock anyway, so yeah.
I don't know, but that's like a caliber of mistake I still make.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you
also,
just don't expect the VR to hit you in time.
This is good, this is good.
Yep.
This is fine. But I would say never ever do like only one sub with Zaku Amazing. Like always do both. There is no reason to ever do one sub.
Yeah.
Because one sub by itself is just not very good. You need the second shot to actually like make it good, because
it also makes
the
your
shots by
damage crap.
themselves, yeah.
So you might as well commit to the crap damage.
Like, generally speaking, a good time to think about, like, you should have used sub by now, basically. Like, and then you finally use it, but then you don't have the second one, so you just kind of, like, drop. You didn't get punished for it, at least. Ooh. Okay. Would have bursted earlier than this, but you could still burst now, because you're Zaku Amazing and you're in a low-cost comp. But you're probably not going to burst.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had enough boost to, like, keep, like, moving or like pressuring with like one final main or something to prevent that from happening at the end there.
Like you could have
done. Just okay. You probably want to learn that you want to combo into your BC. I think it's BC 8B, right? Like the follow up. if you landed like any melee hits with this thing, you want to combo into like you're gonna cancel into like.
I don't think
BC.
Yeah, you have to cancel and step into another melee though to get that cancel chain.
No, I'm just saying like they landed 6B, so you just do like you landed your 6B, then just do like 8 BC 8B. The other thing about S burst is all your landing can be done whilst you can shoot whilst you're landing constantly as well.
Oh,
like that's also protection.
Just know when you're in S burst, you can cancel your sub into main, and you go flying.
Yeah.
And all your shots, even if you drift into green lock, will still be tracking. So like, if sub somehow sends you like out of red lock and you keep mashing main, those shots will still have guidance. They'll still be treated like the red lock as long as you're keeping a cancel chain going and you don't boost.
Yeah, I didn't really see like a single like good instance in S burst of like just flying around like mashing main on top of people.
Yeah,
so,
you could just like
kind of like try to get the hang of that.
Yeah, you can just boost like diagonally at people, use subs if you think people are coming at you. Like right there, like Ju was moving towards you, you could have done double sub and just mash main, and you would have gone flying. You would have been incredibly hard to punish, and Ju would probably have flown into like triple shot from your main.
Yeah, you're basically not taking advantage of the fact that you don't have to boost dash cancel and S burst in a lot of situations, basically. Yeah.
You can just go into free battle and like you'll feel how fun that is in like 1 second and be like, oh man. Like it's something like quite literally boot up free battle, pop S burst, do 2 subs, and then like at the end of your second sub, just start mashing main. And it will feel so good that like you won't even have to think about it. It'll just be fun to do, so you'll want to do it.
Yeah, like I mean, I think a lot of there are like more things we can talk about in terms of like slight meta stuff, like positioning and all. But like generally speaking, I think it's more important to get like really core fundamental movement things.
I mean, this also isn't restricted to just beginners. Yeah, I had 3 people Discord message me. I just don't have that open
I
right
did
now.
too, and I didn't see them. I'm so sorry, guys.
I have too many windows open.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I will never full screen again, and I will always check the stream to make sure things are working in the future. I'm sorry. But yeah, just it's probably better for you to get used to actually using your burst and stuff before you start worrying about like, my positioning could have been better. Like just because if you can burst correctly, then like you're already like.
Well, your phone call got me to start looking around in chat and stuff. I'm like, why isn't it calling me? And it got me to look at chat.
Well, yeah, I just want to like make this point clearly. If you're playing with somebody and you're playing with people, or you're playing with people who are just better than you, like if at the bare minimum you can do like 200 damage ish in your burst, and you do that twice. Like you've already managed to at least make the game like make sense, I guess, in a normal way. Like even if you're making mistakes everywhere else, if you can at least get 2 bursts and you do 200 damage ish in each burst, like you're in a good spot. Like it's like ignoring everything else. You can almost ignore everything else as long as you can get that going. So like as a beginner, that's like probably an easier place to look to just start improving on, is to get like all these fundies out and just like burst correctly and like get the burst damage out, because it's such a big deal. And it's also much easier to get good at that than it is to like get
I'm just going to show off the Zaku Amazing thing.
Sure.
Because once you do it, you're like, oh my god, this is so fun. Alright. I really hate that triangle starts the match now, because that used to be the suit select. Alright, where's Gold Fighters?
I think your thing broke, by the way.
What broke?
No, it didn't. Never mind.
It was because I was looking over too much. But yeah, this is all I do at S-Burst, is I'm just like blat 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 blat. Like it's just a nice clean arc. And even if didn't do my second sub, get rid of that. Blat 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 blat, and keep going. And even if you drift in the green lock and drift too far away, all those shots will still have guidance. You don't have to worry about staying in red lock, you don't have to worry about positioning, no matter what, you're having...
Yeah, whilst you're here, show the like the basic combo probably that you want to do if you ever land melee as well. Just like you land any melee, like, you know, you cancel
Pass
into
through.
APC.
Cancel
into APC. No, it's not the pass through, just it's the spinning one. That's
that's
the
the
high
pass.
damage rule.
8B is the pass through. That is a good melee though.
Oh no, I didn't mean that one. I meant is that 2 BC then? Sorry.
Yeah. I actually recommend a lot of people do the pass through until they know they have the time to get a full combo out. Yeah, that's 2 VC. That's also one for a quick down. It's just
No, that's
BC.
not it either. Which one is it? Is it just regular BC? No, it must just be regular BC because I know that's the spinning. It's the spinning one. Yeah, that is the one that like is like that's the optimal one. That's the optimal damage one, and it's relatively hard to cut because you move forward a lot during it. It's just 5 BC. Okay, I'm thanking you. Yeah, it's like Barbatos's like advancing melee cancel thing basically.
Yeah, that's just 5 BB BC, 5 BB BC, and it does.
Yeah. If you hit like just any melee raw into that into it as well, it does a lot. Like it's pretty reliable. Just like even just like off a single thing and you let it go all the way. Like you're not even canceling it into anything else. Just you hit one melee into it. It's nice. But yeah, like the 8BC pass through gets the combo done really quickly, and like for similar reasons like we said to Coconuts before, like you also pop somebody up in the air and you've taken them out of the game for a while, so that's also good.
Woo! And you always have sub available. Like, look at how little boost this sequence uses too. Like, if people really push on you, and you start realizing like, oh, this guy's running at me, he's gonna get hit, or he's gonna hit me. You have like a whole boost bar to start reacting to it, and you have even more subs to use because your subs come back almost instantly. Would you recommend Step 8V as a super fast get the fuck out ender? Yeah. Like,
during bursts?
What is it?
Well, during your well, specifically it's not necessarily during bursts, it's just during like
yeah, it's untechable.
Well, boost hops. Like, okay, so like boosting, like holding the direction doesn't necessarily do anything. It's the specifically like show the difference between like go back to like the edge of the wall, like go back to like the edge of a wall so that you can just do a counts basically. Like just
wait, what?
Stop hitting the. Go put your back to the wall. Just fly up to the wall. Fly up to the wall. Just fly up to the wall. Like you're not at the wall. Like okay, now you are. Okay, you're behind. I'm sorry. I don't my screen is blind. No, you want to be like in a straight line. So like just get like target the further away thing and then like be directly like in a straight line basically.
Okay. What do you want?
Okay. Now just like boost top forward without directional influence basically.
Oh, okay. You want to show this?
Yeah.
Like I kind of just plunked like a rock, right? I go about
count,
5
move
squares.
backwards and count. Yeah.
Yeah, I go about 5 squares. Then with directional influence, I glide like 5.5, almost reach the 6th one. Let's see.
I think you did a bad hop there actually as well.
That's a perfect top. Well, I don't know, you can kind of just like see it's kind of like a balloon. Yeah, like that one barely got into the 5th one, halfway through the 5th one.
Yeah, the inputs is kind of like, okay, so to explain the inputs, basically, when you do a boost hop normally, like obviously you just...
God damn it. Why can't I do a boost hop right now? I'm trying to do it like consistently and overthinking it. Anyway, like...
It doesn't even have to be a perfect boost hop, like literally just do a boost hop, like it's fine, like there. But
like that's with the influence, and then without it, it's gonna look a lot slower. So like, here's with it again, reach all the way to that thing, and without it, I'm just gonna like stop and plunk.
yeah, like, okay, so the in terms of inputs, the way that this works is that when you do a boost dash, right, if you press the hop button without pressing a direction, if you press the jump button without pressing the direction again, then you'll do the boost hop. And if you hold the direction whilst you're pressing that jump button, you kind of get a little jump, and it's not really what you want most of the time, right? So what you actually want to do is to tap neutral jump after you boost dash, but then once you press that neutral jump button, you press the direction you're traveling in again. So yeah, like it's been listed, you would, in this example, you would do like C, C, 8, C, or C, C, 8, C, and then you would be like going back to neutral to press the C again to rise, and then you would holding forward the whole time. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, like the same thing kind of applies out of a lot of situations.
The same thing applies to Fua steps
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because like here's a Fua step without directional influence. Here's a Fua step with it. And I just carry a much cleaner arc down. And like this is the difference between you getting hit by BRs in this game and not. Because BRs have pretty weak correction in this, or guidance in this game. Yeah. Yeah, CC 8, 5, C. I mean, it's easiest to explain, just hold the direction after you boost hop. Because even if you're not instant with it, you'll still get momentum. But like, I can see it, like when people are just not holding a direction, like, it just looks really chunky. Whereas this is like very fluid. Like, it almost looks like a balloon's being thrown. In terms of like, you just lose all momentum. Whereas this, like, I'm just carrying on. Irysa with the hold notation.
Yeah, anyway, like I hope that clarifies that. Andrew actually made a very good like tutorial video for this.
Did he?
Before?
Nice.
Yeah. So I can ask if, like, I know he made that for somebody else, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Ask if I can put it in like the video description, because I'm probably uploading this on YouTube. After I cut out me not turning the fucking video on.
Yeah, like if you boost dash to the side whilst doing like the proper momentum boost hop, like you kind of can't get hit by normal beam rifle stuff or anything that's not hacker action. Like
Yes.
like that, you just don't get hit unless they're like right in your in your vector.
Like, I think if I just boost side to side, it's obvious. Like, look at that. Like, I just stop. Like, it's like you're throwing a balloon. This is a heavy metal object moving through the air, and this is a balloon. It just gives up. Ugh.
No, the thing I linked talks about something else in there as well, which is the perfect boost hop or the glitch hop, whatever you want to call it, where you can.
It's a feature now. It's just the perfect
but yeah,
boost hop.
well, yeah, well, it's always been a feature, but yeah, like it's. There's a thing that the person in that video explains where you can get a really, really cheap boost hop as well. You don't have to worry too much about that, but he just like kind of covers all aspects of the boost hop kind of pretty well in that video, basically.
This only matters when you're higher level and really just trying to maximize boost efficiency.
Yeah.
So like, look at how much boost a boost hop uses, and a perfect hop uses barely any, but if you do it on the ground, you don't get any height either, so you just end up landing anyway. But if you're already in the air and you do a perfect hop, you kind of get to drift around.
You
for
can
a
do a
while.
full height perfect hop. You can do a full height perfect hop.
Okay.
You just that's the
There
whole
it is.
point. You could, yeah. You just have to press the C button. Like, or we're getting like too complicated for this, but we just wanted to show off the directional influence part. 'Cause that's
I just like calling it a perfect boost hop, 'cause it's just doing a boost hop as perfectly as possible.
Yeah, but like I would say that it's like less important at this level of play. Like, it's not something to like, because being able to perfect boost off isn't going to help you if you can't use all your boosts correctly, basically, right? Like when you're like, man, I need a little bit of extra boost so I can like do something. Like, then you can start worrying about it, basically.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But you can honestly probably get to a competitive level in this game without, or at least be able to play with someone carrying you. at a competitive level without knowing how to maximize that. This is something I've picked up and just do instinctually now.
Even the best players only really do it when they're trying to run away. Like if you even try to watch the best players in tournaments and stuff, they're not doing it consistently on offense. Like they only consistently do it when they're trying to run away.
Yeah, because they're just trying to hide as much boost as possible so they can hide like one last action. Because if you can surprise someone with one more action and they misread your boost, which is what perfect boost hopping tends to do, just throw off people's expectations for your boost on defense. I think I'm going to call it here and then get some food, and I might stream in a bit. So thanks for submitting your replays. Thanks for watching. Oh no, my face rig broke. There it is. Yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you come back next Sunday. I don't know if I'll have to start moving these bi-weekly. It just depends on how many people submit. It looks like I can get through about like 4 or 5 people in a weekend. Because we managed to burn through those in an hour and a half. So I'm either going to try and think of more things to talk about, but I also don't want to give people more than like 2 or 3 major takeaways. Like Gunner Zaku. Number 1, get used to holding your boost tops. That's one thing you can just slowly try to implement.
You mean Zaku Amazing?
Zaku Amazing. Fuck me. And then the second one is not only activating your S bursts, but knowing that like sub is a very good evasive button when you're in S burst. Oh, it's also good to know to step things in S burst, I guess. That's kind of in general. S-burst keeps you on angle and you can do a step backwards and like retreat if people are trying to push on you, and it's hard to chase.
You might want to, I don't know if you can do it, but like if you could you show the Gaia thing to Coco maybe? I don't know. Or nah, you don't want to do that?
Yeah, you can do like a full shot sequence, and as you're coming down, just do a Fua step backwards. And like I said, as long as you're chaining those shots together, even if you drift in the green lock, they still have guidance. And shot volume is very hard to deal with on Zaku Amazing. I think a lot of middling Zaku Amazings can win quite a lot of shuffle games and such, just if they half burst and are good at not getting hit in S burst. All you really need to know is sub is a very evasive button in S burst, and Fua steps can help you retreat or cutting guidance from major attacks like Garobis and such. What do I need to show Coco? Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hit triangle again. I think you'll have to like record that. I have no idea what.
I mean, I don't know, like, Coco, do you know what I'm talking about specifically with how you use main near the ground into a sked landing, or would a demonstration help? It's literally just be in dog mode and then like get, you know, whilst you're
hit triangle
like,
again. This is the old X.
Okay, then it will help to help to demonstrate then. Like all you want to just get into dog mode and then like
just don't hit
height.
triangle so you can actually switch your mobile suit. Hate that brings me into the menu when it used to be the old select mobile suit button. I'm in seed. Where is it?
Yeah, like just go in a dog, like I don't know, do the jump and then like boost dash to side, and then like main and then like main right before you touch the ground, then boost
jump?
dash.
2B?
2B. Yeah.
So like 2B. Like stuff like that can work.
Yeah, but like you don't hold the boost dash next time. Like when you're like just jump and then like boost dash, or like jump and like throw it out or something.
But also let you skid. But you just need to appreciate, like, look at how much you boost downwards when you boost. Like you do drift towards the ground. So you can just do like.
No, you don't. You're.
What do you want?
I just want you to jump into the air once, then like boost dash sideways, and then before you touch the ground, main, and then boost dash. That's it. That's all. That's it. No swerving, nothing. Just like.
My brain's bad. There you go.
No, no, you didn't skid there. You want to get the skid. You do it right before you touch the ground, like. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That like the one I just saw on stream is what I wanted. But yeah, like. Don't worry about holding boost dashes or anything. Yeah.
As long as you do like any main shot, you're gonna drift downwards enough. If you have down. Oh, that one was too high.
Yeah, like it's not just any of them, but like generally speaking, main helps a lot because you drop a little bit and it lets you buffer your boost dash. Because you actually enter the landing animation like.
There's actually a second reason. There's a second reason why that works, and that one's more technical.
Mm-hmm.
Shots will get closer to you, and won't be able to correct when you skid. Because you're actually letting shots get slightly closer to you. Whereas if you do it like right as something's leaving their gun, it'll curve all the way to hit you. But that's something that's a little bit more technical.
Yeah, and you can also block during the skids, like so you know you can just like boost dash on the like during the skid you can just input block at any point. So because, that's also useful. Yeah,
because higher level you will kind of like let shots get closer to you before you do a perpendicular movement to make sure that they don't hit you. And I deal with a lot of high correction attacks that way. Just literally let them get as close as possible and then last second boost dash to the side. And that's one thing the suit's very good at, and one thing that main and the skid lets you do. So you have a lot of control of it. You're like, boom! Alright. It's like, you can just hold it. Whoop. God, that's boost expensive, though.
You don't want to hold the boost dash. Like, you never want to hold the boost dash with this thing. Don't hold it. Just let it drop normally.
You can actually fire a shot on the ground. That's not a terrible recovery landing.
It's not, but skid is better because you can block during it.
But I mean, you can do things like bop, bop, bop. Just kind of let the main end.
Also, just so it's also clear, in MS mode, I forgot to say this before, but this is actually very important. You like go into MS mode and then just like be near the ground and then like do like assist into side BC and like hold it. Just like be on the ground and like assist into side BC basically, or like do a boost top and then right before you land assist and then side BC.
Okay, I held out direction so I kept running, but
yeah, you didn't have to. It's just like you.
Okay, that's
really... also something you should be thinking about doing if you're in like if you're in MS mode and you need to get like a better landing, basically. Like let's say you pushed in a bit in MS mode and you're like, I need a better landing. Just like use side BC near the ground. Lego is completely different. Like sorry, it's
yeah, Lego wants to actually avoid. Lego just cheats. I can actually go into that briefly, but yeah.
No, don't, please don't. It's like, that's his whole own thing.
But I like showing it off.
But I don't know, Ryzer wanted something about, the Atlas stuff, and like I guess, like, I don't know, that seems like something that those cancel chains are a little bit awkward, so like I could show those off if you, I don't know, if you could host me whilst I stream it like quickly, if that would work. I don't know if that would work or no.
I could just pull up your stream.
Oh, that would work. Yeah, I will quickly try. And yeah, Lego, you don't really go into the air, and Lego has no mobile suit mode, so like that's just like really not a thing.
Actually, Legao does go hop a lot.
But it doesn't like have normal boost jump movement and stuff is what Coconuts means. And like Gaia's transformations also do make it gain height to an extent.
Oops. Yeah, I'll just Irysa can just stream. because that's just a button to press, and then I can open up their stream and switch to that view. And there'll be some delay, but... Well, there'll be quite a bit of delay, but... Alright. Some person streaming a fucking rave. So tv.com/Irysa.
I'm not streaming yet, hang on.
Alright, the longer you take, the more likely I am to start talking about Legao.
Okay, I'm on air.
Okay. One second. Alright. I don't know.
Also,
I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick.
Okay, sure. If nobody else knows this, then the 3Ks like have almost no what do you call it? I don't know if you call it penalty or guts rating, so they're generally better to practice on for damage values. Okay, so like this is going to be kind of like desynced, but I'll try to show off what I was talking about for some cancel sequence stuff. So like obviously, this is a cancel sequence you're not using enough, main into BC, like as an approach vector. Like it's pretty boost efficient. Like look at how little that cost in terms of like, ways to approach people. Like it costs like almost nothing, and you can't really be shot out of this unless you like they do like a high correction move, like a Nagata beam rifle, and then you can if they do a high correction move, then like you just do like steps and sub them or something, right? So like oh, like that. Anyway, so and in regards to like obviously that you can also do stuff like and then fire into the CSA straight away, so you don't have to stab. So that's also a thing. Again, I apologize for the desyncs. Here's some other things with like this thing. Like, they're just a load of crap going on at close range. So like oops, messed that one up. Yeah, I'm messing up some of these sequences. They're a little bit finicky. But yeah, like the close range, like doop. Like it can be less clean to get the knockdowns at close range if you do this, but like there's enough stagger that it's still a decent option to do, and it's still useful for retreating with. The thing is, you just want to make sure that like you hold down during. You want to make sure that you press main as soon as possible, then you hold down during it. So. There. That was like what you want. Otherwise, you'll end up like stalling a little bit.
Reminder that your voice is a bit delayed. So
I know. I've apologized for it, and I'm compensating, trying to compensate for that.
Yes, if you flip into green, it counts as a cancel, and you'll maintain tracking. Break Freedom's the same way.
Yeah, like obviously that one was not a true combo, but like I did it at mid range, so yeah.
Like they really just. They literally just took Strike Freedom's move and altered the properties on it, so it kicks you backwards more.
Well, if you
also, I didn't appreciate it till now, but that move sends you backwards extremely far as well, so you can get pretty up in Melee Suit's faces and then just flip backwards.
Yeah, and it's the same for this move, like...
Yeah, you go...
I didn't do the cancel, but yeah.
If you think it's like pushing you too far away, then you can just get closer, and that should become your comfort to getting closer, I think. Like if you're not intending to commit to melee out of the dash, like seriously consider like just doing the flip into doing this like out of your command dash, basically. Yeah, you seem to have a decent grip on getting into people's vectors with your moves too. Like with your machine gun use and stuff, seem decent.
Like heck, let's say you hit somebody with like both of these.
There's a VOD regardless. Like, I tell people they don't have to be here, and we will still cover the replays. It's just nicer because they won't be able to ask questions if they're not here.
But yeah, like, so just like to go over the quickly 3 things because like I covered too many things at once. Like just main 6 BC, pretty good for advancing, and then you can just like step to sub to flip because you advanced in. Pretty boost efficiently. It costs like literally like no boost to move like as far as like 2 boost dashes whilst being evasive, and then you can flip out and retreat, punish, and then if you like And with regards to this, like, you know, it's better than you think. Like it's not something you do to actively attack. It's what you because you're just using the machine gun usually as the fake out option anyway. Because honestly, the machine gun is not that high correction out of this move. This is the fake out move that you do to, like, you know, punish people who are trying to react to the command dash. Because the actual, like, juice off the command dash is doing the melee. Like,
yeah. You actually use the backflip properly. I think Atlas is actually a pretty good newer player suit, because you actually spend a lot of time just watching what your opponents are doing.
Yeah, the problem is that if you do it at, like, long range, like here, or you do the sequence like repeatedly, now you're, like, on the other side of the map, and your partner could be, like, totally isolated. That's bad. So you have to be careful about doing that. But if you're, like, getting dived on really hard, you know, you can actually just, like, be spamming your crap, like, and flip.
I can't believe that gets you that far away. Like, that's really.
I told you it's like Noir.
Suits. Yeah.
It's literally Noir. But yeah, like, you have a lot of really dumb overheat sequences that you can do. And, like, you can also do, like, you can also cancel your sub into this. Like, if you're, like, absolutely desperate to go in, like, you want to keep staying in, and maybe your sub's hit and you're not retreating, cancel into side BC. Like, because this move is, like, really evasive. And it's pretty high priority too. So yeah. So, like, if you're, like, close up to somebody and, like, stuff's not hitting, then, like, just, like, side BC them at the end.
Yeah, you gotta time it though for the side BC to actually win anything.
Yeah, you might need to step out and do other stuff again, but yeah, just generally more side BC use, aside from the only time I saw you use it really was side BC into CSA, which is good, but, like, there are other uses too.
I should have muted the stream earlier. I started hearing some background music.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah, I think that covers it for, like, just the Atlas things I wanted to, like, point out in demonstration. Sorry about the desync. Yes, AC increasing melee priority. It does.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, AC increases your melee priority. You except for the command dash one. So, yeah, like, the jump melee is the best one. That's 8 BC. Like, if you do command dash into jump melee, then you have increased chase speed, and the priority is better. Like, so that is, like, pretty scary. I shouldn't say scary, but yeah, like, it's something that, like, they can't just ignore, basically. Like, you can't just fly away from it.
All right. I think I'm all right. I think I'm good for now. I'm gonna get some food. I might be back later. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I'm glad I set this up so I could easily switch to, like, PS4 and stuff. I want to actually get a Photoshop file open where I have little dots I can move around if I want to show, like, positioning things for people who are doing a bit better. And I'm going to be uploading these on YouTube. I don't know how much I'm going to edit these or just let them rock. I didn't remember to record a local copy, but I have to set up OBS to be identical to my Streamlabs setup. Get an easy local recording. Actually, I could just record on Streamlabs because I do want all the audio and overlay and stuff. Oh well, I could have been recording a local copy. Oh well, that's the one thing I think I didn't do right, other than forget to turn the fucking video on. See ya.